Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Urbex Dead Mall series. Before we begin today's video, I wanted to take a moment and give a shout out to my brand new channel members and welcome them to the Tilt Squad. And for everyone who's been a channel member, thank you for all of your support. It brings me great joy to say that this is helping me to continue the future of video and to preserve all of these malls and bring you these great videos. If you'd like to learn how you could become a channel member and gain access to member-exclusive perks and content, then you can check out the links that are at the end of the video or in the description box below. Now let's get into today's video. Today's episode continues my journey to document all the malls across Iowa. Now, of course, I didn't get a chance to document every single one, but I did document a majority of them. This time, we're going to be checking out the Westland Mall here in Burlington, Iowa. Now, this game room that we're about to check out was absolutely incredible to see, and it's not because of what's inside, it's because of the aesthetics of this place, because I believe this used to be in Aladdin's castle, and I just love the 80s, 90s vibes that this place is giving off. Now, one thing I really enjoyed about visiting Iowa is that for quite some time, this state has just sort of been coasting through life economically. They're not really failing, but they're not really succeeding. This means that throughout much of Iowa, and especially in their smaller cities and towns, they just don't have the economy to support a lot of these malls. Until more recently, many of these malls have had enough foot traffic to keep them going, but haven't been pulling in enough revenue in order to renovate the place, so it just sort of stays stuck in the past, which is awesome. Now, unfortunately, in recent years, a number of major industries have left Iowa, and this is why we're seeing a lot of these malls quickly die off. And this is a prime example here at the Westland Mall, where we just don't see anyone in here. I mean, it's pretty dead. Unfortunately, as I raced around Iowa to quickly document these malls, I didn't get a lot of time to spend here at the Westland Mall. So with that, let's get into the mall's history. General Growth Properties would begin building the Westland Mall in 1976. Its original tenants would include a JCPenney, Yonkers, Woolworth, Kurland's Hallmark, County Seat, Carmelcorn, Bresler's Ice Cream, and Inosco Drugs. Finally, the mall would open for business on March 30th of 1977 and would comprise of more than 40 stores. The first changes to the mall would come in 1981 when the Woolworth store would convert to a Woolco. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a Woolco is, that's just another division of the Woolworth Company. Unfortunately, it would close in 1983. In 1998, L&H Realty would buy the mall and then later sell it to GK Development in 2004. And then finally, the mall would receive a brand new anchor store in 2013 with the opening of a Marshall's. 2015 would be a sad year for the mall, as this would be the year that things would start heading in the wrong direction, as JCPenney would announce that it would be closing its Westland Mall store along with 38 other stores in the United States, and the JCPenney would close in spring of 2015. Now, this surely wasn't the beginning of the decline of this mall, because things weren't doing good before 2015. However, when you start to lose your major anchor tenants, that's usually when things spiral out of control. Because again, in 2018, we would see the closure of the Yonkers due to the Bon-Ton Company filing for bankruptcy and closing all of their stores. Now that we're heading into 2022, things get really strange, because we all know Sears was closing stores left and right, even going back all the way to 2018 and before. So to hear that Sears was going to open any kind of a store, even though it was only a hometown store, which is like an appliance and hardware kind of a thing, it was just odd to hear them opening up a brand new store. And yeah, of course, in Sears fashion, it would fail and close by the end of the year. Now, this was mainly due to the fact that Sears shut down all of their hometown stores that year. In August of 2023, it would be announced that the Marshall store would be leaving the mall to move over to a former Walmart space. Now, this is kind of puzzling, because I'm pretty sure that the Marshalls wasn't moving to the former Walmart because they needed a bigger footprint. More than likely, it was just cheaper rent over there. As of January of 2024, the Westland Mall had been acquired by the Fourth Dimension Properties and had made announcements that they were going to work to attract new businesses. Now, it's 2025, and I can't say that that's working very well, because there's still quite a few vacancies in this mall. Now, as I was passing these vending machines, I just had to stop here and take a look at this amazing retro aesthetics. I just love the logo, and just the whole look of the thing is amazing. Even this tile work on the storefront next to it is just like, wow. It kind of reminded me of something that you might see walking in a small town, like through their downtown. You'd see storefronts that had tile work like that. I don't think I've ever seen that in a mall. The year is 1980, school has just let out, and you've decided to go with a group of friends and head over to the Westland Mall. You head inside and you gaze over at the theater, wondering what new movies are showing. You stare up at the clock and look at the time to see that you have several hours left to enjoy yourself in this mall with your friends. Yeah, I could just imagine doing that. I mean, these aesthetics here in the main center court are just amazing. I kind of wanted to just sit down on these wooden benches and just kind of reminisce and just kind of imagine what it would have been like back in the day when this mall was thriving and just full of life. But unfortunately, I didn't have time to do that. Alright, so now that we're here in the wing of the former Yonkers space, I just had to talk about the aesthetics down here, because other than that center court and the clock that was there, which was pretty amazing, this was my favorite part of the mall. I just love all the natural light that's streaming in through the skylights, and the lush green mall plants, and those wooden benches, and especially that marble front to the former Yonkers. It was just heaven to just sit in here and just sort of relax. But unfortunately, again, I didn't have much time to spend here because I was on a mission to document more malls. So take a moment to soak it all in and enjoy the sights and the sounds of the 1980s. So the last section of this mall that we're going to visit is what they would have considered their food court. Now, I don't really consider it the food court because I'm thinking of a traditional food court, not really a long hallway that just has food vendors on either side. However, this mall was built before traditional food courts came into vogue, so I guess for them to have a food court at all is pretty awesome. And although this food court only has one eating establishment left, it is a pretty awesome one. I mean, just look at that amazing Asian-themed frontage. Well, I think that's going to do it for today's video. If you want more awesome content like this, you can check out the links on screen and in the description box below. But that's going to do it. I want to thank you, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode as we travel through Iowa.